Okay, so with my time in this class, I feel like the lessons that, well, the lesson that impacted me the most had to do with budgeting. As a former coach and personal trainer for athletes, I kind of had some type of understanding of how the budgeting works, but I never really had the big picture until we did the assignment where we had to make our own budget sheet. And with me wanting to base my career in college athletics, it really went home field when I really had to make my own budget sheet and see what I was limited to for over 19 programs, and that was a real eye opener for me. When it comes to budgeting, I'm not the biggest fan of it, and just thinking one day if I were as administrator and athletic administrator, that would be something that I would really have to deal with setting aside revenue and expenses for programs, having to keep track of past and future expenses, making sure that everything is organized. And organization isn't the really biggest problem, but really having to work with a set amount of money and sometimes able to not being able to get what you need because your finances aren't where you want them to be because you're working on a budget. And especially when I was working with RCC as a assistant track coach, I did see that we were doing a lot of sponsorships, along with little things that we had to do to raise extra money because we just didn't have it. And then I remember us having to pull out old uniforms because the girls and the men's and women's team didn't, fundraise enough money for the season. So I think that was a big one too. But I think budgeting was the biggest topic that really painted the big picture of me one day wanting to become an athletic administrator. Or even just a coach, having to budget for your team so alone is tough. So just having the thought of having to take over 19 other programs was helped me learn a lot. And I can take this with me with my future endeavors as a coach or trainer or even an athletic administrator, is that there's a lot that goes into it, and just to be organized and communicating with as an athletic administrator, communicating with your coworkers such as the coaches and other administrators, that it's good to be organized and communicate with the bookkeepers, the ones keeping track of the accounts, um, sitting down with the coaches to make and coming up with a set plan for their programs, and just being on the same page to make sure that each program is accommodated for their needs, and if they're not accommodated, then trying to figure out a plan of how you can fundraise extra money for the program so they can get the necessities to be successful for their athletic season.